morning, respected professors and all the fellow members present here. I am Chris Cardoza, and along with my fellow co-author, Mr. Sujal Utekar, we have conducted a research on the topic, a study on how coronavirus pandemic has changed the perception of youth towards life insurance. We both are students of Tolani College of Commerce who are now pursuing a bachelor's in accounts and finance. Now, let me give you a brief introduction about our topic. We still remember the dark times of COVID 19 when we were stuck in our houses away from reality. The only thing which made us feel connected to the outside world was the news. The news that we saw during that times was so depressing and sad that we sometimes used to just shut our phones and newspaper. There were several awful things that happened during COVID 19, but we also learned some important lessons like family is everything, job is not always secure, health is wealth, and so on. We also learned the important point that getting yourself insured and your family insured is of the essence. The reason why we chose this topic is being a youth myself and going through the COVID 19 pandemic made me curious about how people who are in their youth phase now view the importance of life insurance. Did any change happen in their perception or not? Now, for the review of literature. Several articles, journals, and other research papers were referred for our research. Following are the three important points that helped us in our research. The first one was the survey conducted by Indian Economic, which pointed out that 65% of Indians support their medical costs through their out-of-pocket expenses. The second point was an article from ET Now, which stated that there is a gap between the people who consider life insurance as a necessity and the people who are actually willing to invest in it. 91% of the people consider it as a necessity, while only 70% of them are willing to invest in it. Another article by SBI stated that in the financial year 2020 and 2021, retail health insurance policies have shown a massive jump of 28.5%, which is continuing to grow in the financial year 2021 and 2022. Moving on to the methodology part of the paper. Following are the objectives of our research paper. First one is to know if the coronavirus pandemic has an impact on youth regarding life insurance. The second one was to know how much priority will be given to life insurance by the youth after the pandemic. The third one was to understand the reason behind the change in the perception of youth towards life insurance. And the fourth objective was to know how this change in perception will overall impact the life insurance market. For the hypothesis, our null hypothesis was there is no increased awareness among youth about life insurance after COVID 19, whereas our alternate hypothesis was there is an increased awareness among youth about life insurance after COVID 19. The primary data for our research paper was collected from multiple choice questions asked from students, whereas the secondary data was collected from articles, journals, relevant website, and other research papers. Sample size for our study is 92 active respondents. The term universe for the study is youths of the Mumbai region. The reference period for the research is year 2022 and 23. The articles and journals that we read for our research paper, most of them focused on the view of working class and elders towards life insurance. There were very few articles which tried to understand how youth are now viewing life insurance. It is crucial now that the youths are also aware of the necessity of life insurance. This research is important as it provides knowledge about how much the youth are now aware of life insurance, what are the reasons why they find life insurance important, and also how much priority they now give to life insurance. Now for the data analysis part. Several questions were asked to the respondents about life insurance. All those questions were interrelated, which helped to prove one of the hypotheses. Following are the four important questions among them. Here we can see that before pandemic, the number of people who felt that life insurance policy are important were 65.22%, whereas after pandemic the number of people who view life insurance as essential was 91.30%, which we can clearly see that there is an increased awareness among youth regarding life insurance, which proved our alternate hypothesis. The right side of the data shows the things related to pandemic which made the respondents change their view about life insurance. The two major reasons were concern about family member and risk of their own life. Other reasons like death of someone else, discovery of deadly disease and other reasons also played a major role in it. In the left side of the data, the view of the respondents were showed when asked if they think life insurance is the best way to secure oneself, in which 92.39% agreed that it is the best way to secure oneself. Another noteworthy point which was discovered in our research is that youth are not only being aware of the importance, but they are also taking an initiative to know about different types of life insurance. There are some suggestions which I would like to make. First, although youth are now getting aware of the importance and necessity of life insurance, they are still not fully informed about what type of insurance is suitable for their requirement. The second is, changes should be made in the life insurance policy, products, and steps should be taken to make the youth understand how life insurance policy work and how to make it suitable for their own requirement. The third point is, although the youth are now getting aware, it is time for the elders of the house should also be made aware of the importance and necessity of why youth should get insured. Following are the few important references which helped us form our research paper. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation about our research paper.
Afternoon to all the participants present today in this conference. Let me start the presentation by introducing the author of the research paper. The principal author, Dr. Anjali Alekar, head of the Department of Commerce and coordinator of Bachelor of Management Studies, Ismail Yusuf College. Myself, Nasir Usmani, assistant professor of Ismail Yusuf College, the co-author of the research paper, and Saima Mistry, assistant professor of Ismail Yusuf College, is also co-author of the research paper. The title of the research paper is Challenges of Online Teaching and Learning in Mumbai City. The COVID-19 pandemic has a significant negative impact on the Indian educational system. The COVID-19 pandemic has significantly interrupted education, and adopting e-learning in which both teachers and students has a digital platform to build a consistent framework for the next course of action is the only option to solve this issue. However, parent must carry out the administrative or facilitative responsibilities with the least possible disruptions to the learning. This paper specified goal is to evaluate the contribution of e-learning to COVID-19 in India and identify initiative, problem and possibilities with workable solution. Through various software, teachers can utilize their mobile phone, desktop or laptop, tablet, etc. for online instruction. The government has encouraged online learning to maintain academic continuity. Most upscale private and public institutions have successfully transitioned by utilizing online tools like Zoom, Google Classroom, Teachment application, Drishti, etc. Several difficulties are presented by online learning. Now is the time for India, for us Indian as a society to understand the domain of online education. Online teaching is the method of instruction that make use audio visual platforms. Online education has several advantages including flexibility in learning, more time to develop skill, improve retentions and more. Online schools are unquestionably the way of the future for the education system. Another advantage of using technology for education for the student. The objectives of the research paper: to find out challenges faced in online teaching and learning, to find out cost benefit ratio in an online teaching and learning, to check out the learning outcomes in comparison with offline mode of teaching and learning. Methodology: universal selected metro city like Mumbai, where speed of the network is high and all required infrastructure is available in metro city Mumbai. But still people face the problem in online teaching and learning. To understand the reason, metro city in Mumbai selected for sampling area and respondent size is 158 people on which the research has been done. No one was permitted to travel during the pandemic. Teachers must provide online lecture. The first question to the teacher is, have you taught online during COVID-19? 100% of the teachers responded in affirmative because of the restriction required everyone to access the internet. There was no offline mode available for instruction during the pandemic. The second question is, are academic quality standard for student improving during online learning during the COVID-19 period? This is the same question that is posted to student, and 80% of teachers responded no, indicating that they are unsatisfied with online instruction. When we ask a student that, we recognize that the concept of online learning, which makes a significant difference to our research. Do you have computer or a smartphone? This is our first question. 90.5% of the students use laptop and smartphones or for education during the pandemic. A second crucial query is posted to the student: has a student's academic performance improved as a result of COVID-19 learning? 50.4% of the students report that there is online learning experience in COVID-19 has not improved their academic performance. Suggestions are given by the researcher of this paper: overcoming technical issues, lack of interaction issues, and third one is digital literacy deficits. The conclusions of this research papers given by researcher: to conclude, pandemic COVID-19, teachers learn about advanced method of teaching by using online application. Second one, student also learn blended learning program help in academic development and enhance of knowledge. And the last one is skill required in 21st century can be adopted through blended learning to become a job ready. These are our references.
I am Mrs. Sarita Praveen Usgaonkar, Associate Professor of Commerce in Government College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Kepe, Goa. I have teaching experience of 27 years for UG and PG and has served as head of the department for one term. Title of my research paper is Feedback Mechanism in the Performance Appraisal System and its Role Towards Employee Development. We all know that human resource as a factor has gained enormous importance in the modern organizations. Therefore, organizations strive to enhance their competency level with the help of performance appraisal system. Performance appraisal means evaluation of employee performance where the strengths and weaknesses are communicated to the employees through feedback mechanism. In the effort to maintain the strength and to overcome the weaknesses, firstly, self-improvement initiatives of the employee becomes essential. Secondly, initiatives by the organization should get reflected through employee development programs. Thus, performance appraisal is useful for guiding the employees for self-improvement and employee development through the feedback mechanism. The review of literature comprises of various research articles and books. It brings out various aspects of feedback mechanism in performance appraisal system. The significance of feedback mechanism is highlighted by Ilgen, Fisher and Susan and Murphy and Cleveland considering it as an essential organ of performance appraisal system, while Fedor and Berkeley stated that feedback mechanism should be executed cautiously as employees do not accept negative comments. Rao highlighted the role of feedback mechanism to impart information on performance deficiencies. He also stressed on the communication between appraiser and appraisee for fair ratings. Tommy Udak Ime discussed about employee discontentment about the way feedback is shared. Uzgaonkar and Sakharkar stated that feedback mechanism act as a motivator to the employees. Rao and Rao considered 360-degree feedback system instrumental to develop learning culture. Performance interview and problem-solving interview method brings improvement in performance according to Ashwath Thapa and Kale Latif and Ahmed. While according to Ward, artificial intelligence will bring accuracy in 360-degree feedback in the future. The objective of my study is to review the role of feedback mechanism in the performance appraisal system towards employee development. The alternate hypothesis of the study state that feedback mechanism in the performance appraisal system plays significant role towards employee development. The null hypothesis state that feedback mechanism in the performance appraisal system plays insignificant role towards employee development. The study is represented by the sample size of 100 employees randomly selected from manufacturing units in South Goa. To collect the primary data, structured questionnaire was used along with personal interview, telephonic discussion with HR officials. Total 107 questionnaires were administered, out of which 100 questionnaires were considered for the study. In the present study, feedback mechanism is the independent variable, whereas employee development is the dependent variable. Further, employee development is fragmented into 4 variables, namely overcome weakness, employee productivity, motivation, and overall development. The measurement scale used is 5-point Likert scale. Workforce are considered the most important asset and thus play key role in the success of the organization. Therefore, there is a need to upgrade their skill and caliber to enhance their competency levels. Feedback system in performance appraisal system helps to communicate the strength and weaknesses of the employees, and based on it, post-appraisal actions are initiated such as counseling, mentoring, training, etc. Thus, feedback system of performance appraisal system brings refinement in the expertise of the employees. To execute correlation analysis, reliability test was conducted for 5 items, namely feedback mechanism, overcome weakness, improves productivity, motivation to perform, and overall development. The alpha coefficient is 0.726 for all these 5 items. It means that all 5 items do have acceptable internal consistency. Further, correlation analysis has been performed to know the association between feedback mechanism and employee development, where employee development has 4 variables. In the table, Pearson correlation values ranges between 0.3 to 0.7. We can see that which suggests that moderate association exists between employee development variables and feedback mechanism. The p-value of the variables, namely overcome weakness, improves productivity, motivation to perform, and overall development are 0.001, 0.000, 0.000, and 0.000 respectively. The p-value in the table indicates significant relationship between independent variable, that is feedback mechanism, and dependent variable, employee development. Therefore, the data depicts that positive correlation exists among all the variables. Single variable regression has been performed to know whether feedback mechanism in the performance appraisal system influence the employee development. The hypothesis testing is based on simple regression method. In the table, it can be observed that employee development has been fragmented into 4 variables, namely overcome weakness, improves productivity, motivation to perform, and overall development. The beta coefficient values shows that there is an influence of feedback mechanism on the 4 variables to the extent of 44% to overcome weakness, 57% for improving the productivity, 37% motivation to perform, and 45% to overall development. Similarly, the R-square values, we can see the R-square values measure the amount of variance in the dependent variable, which accounts for 11%, 25%, 15%, and 19% respectively to all 4 variables. The p-value of the dependent variable are less than alpha 0.005. Therefore, it has been observed that there exists significant influence of feedback mechanism on the variables of employee development. Thus, the null hypothesis is rejected and alternate hypothesis is accepted. The present study analysis state that change in competency level of the employee is possible with effective feedback mechanism of performance appraisal system. Competency level can be enhanced through proper training program. Therefore, feedback mechanism act as a motivator. Thus, organization should make feedback mechanism more effective to bring employee development. Following are the references used for my study. Thank you.
A very good afternoon. The topic of my presentation is a study on the role of augmented reality on online purchase intention with special reference to Gen Y in Mumbai city. As we all know that augmented reality integrates the digital information with the viewer's surrounding in real time. It is very much different from virtual reality. In virtual reality, we need a VR handset. Augmented reality basically takes the real world environment. Augmented reality sort of gives some sort of confidence to the customers when they want to purchase a product, and the purchase process is much faster than before. These days, a lot of companies are using augmented reality to face the tough competition that exists in the market. This research paper basically focuses on augmented reality and has also tried to explain how augmented reality influences purchase decision of the consumers. Moving ahead to the objectives of the study, in this particular paper, we are going to understand the impact of augmented reality on the purchase intention. We are also going to analyze whether augmented reality increases customer engagement and support. The satisfaction level of the consumers would be measured, and finally, the effectiveness of augmented reality on brand loyalty would be studied. The research methodology is by way of primary as well as secondary data. The primary data is collected through a structured questionnaire which is administered to around 100 people, general public belonging to the Gen Y. Sampling technique that is used is convenience sampling. The secondary data is collected through books, journals, and websites. We have three different hypotheses in the study. The first set of hypotheses basically tries to understand whether augmented reality has a positive or a negative influence on the purchase intention. The second hypothesis studies about the relationship between augmented reality and customer engagement. The third hypothesis tries to understand the level of satisfaction after consumers purchase products through AR experiences. Moving ahead is the data interpretation and analysis. Here we look at the demographic profile of the respondents. As you see, the above explains the age, gender, education, income, and the profession of the respondents. Moving ahead, we are trying to understand the various factors that influence purchase intention guided by augmented reality. We see that majority of the people prefer augmented reality because it provides a practical information of the product followed by interactivity in the real time. The factors that influence purchase intention include the user-friendly interface, interactivity in real time, rich and unique experiences. Majority of the people agree to the fact that augmented reality provides a user-friendly interface. Also, a lot of people agree to the fact that they do not regret the purchase decision made due to augmented reality. Here we see that majority of the respondents are inclined towards online purchases guided through augmented reality. The percentage is 74%, and hence here we reject the null hypothesis and we state that augmented reality has a positive influence on the online purchase intention of customers. Moving to the factors influencing engagement, we see that majority of the customers agree to the fact that using the brand's AR feature on the brand app stimulates their interest in the brand. Here we see that around 59% of the people using the AR feature get thinking about the brand, and 80% feel that the app stimulates their interest in the brand, which also rejects the null hypothesis, and hence we accept that there is a significant relationship between augmented reality and customer engagement. In the above graph, we see that majority of the respondents agree to the fact that they are satisfied by purchasing products from online retailers having AR experiences, and 86% of the people are satisfied with augmented reality, which proves our alternate hypothesis, which is customers are satisfied by purchasing products from online retailers who provide distinctive experiences, and hence rejecting our null hypothesis. Moving on to the findings, most of the respondents, around 87%, believes that augmented reality has really aided their intention. A lot of the customers are also inclined towards augmented reality because of the practical information that is provided to them, and they also get a very rich experience because of which they do not regret the purchases. The user-friendly interface makes it very easy for the customers, and the engagement of the brand is also more because of the AR feature on various brand apps, and 86% of the people are satisfied because of augmented reality guided purchases. On to Moving on to certain suggestions to the retailers, we see that retailers can actually provide experiences to customers with augmented reality. Retailers can design certain apps which have various tools which would help them to understand whether the garments fit them, the display sizes, the actual display of the product. This would enable the customers to take the right kind of purchase decision. A lot of times, viewing the garment on the mannequin might not be a reasonable way to decide whether the customer would want to buy the product or not. Also, retailers can go for personalization to boost their conversion rates, which could also be possible through augmented reality. The conversion rates would be really high. The usage of augmented reality would also provide a immersive experience to the customers, and obviously the customers would then be loyal to the retailers. The limitations of the study include that the universe is a little large, and since it is large, the study was restricted to Mumbai. The sample is 100. It might not be a representative of the population. Moving to the conclusion, we conclude here that the study actually looks at various factors, how customers engage with brands, and since brand use augmented reality, these elements engage the customers and also bring about positive results. If more of companies come up with AR, they would be able to influence the youth of today, and it would also increase the conversion rates. Since the augmented reality feature has various types and various features, they could be more widely used by retailers, thus enhancing the experience and also increasing purchase satisfaction. These are the references. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Panchamia and I am here to present a research paper on the topic an analytical study of investment preference with respect to equity and mutual funds. These are the authors and the co-authors of the paper. Moving ahead to the introduction, there has been a gradual increase in the financial literacy in India. An evident shift can be seen in the mindset of the people. Earlier, they used to save and keep money in banks or at home. Now they want to invest that money and grow. One of the most important reasons why one should invest is to beat the cost of inflation. In India, investors have traditionally employed bank deposits, post office deposits, LIC schemes, and gold as investment vehicles. However, the rise of India's finance industry in recent years has shifted the preferences of the young generation who are now gravitating towards the investing channels such as mutual funds, equity markets, and commodities. Mutual fund is a vehicle for mobilizing investors' money, investing in various industries and securities in line with agreed investment goals between the mutual fund and the shareholders. Mutual funds can structure a scheme for any type of investment goal. Similarly, in equity market is one in which shares are issued and traded through exchanges or over the counter markets. It is also known as stock market, and it is one of the most important fields in market economy since it gives firm access to cash and investors a piece of ownership in the company with the possibility to make profit based in future results. Equity is one of the risky fields. At the same time, it is a place where the investor can get higher return at a time. Moving ahead to the review of literature, this is an important review of literature which is directly connected with the research topic. The objectives of the study is that to understand the investor's preference towards mutual fund investment and equity shares investment. Second objective is to analyze the preferred mode of investment. That is, if they are going for mutual fund, then what is the preferred mode, either SIP or either one-time investment. And the last objective of the study is to understand the individual investor's preference for investment in equity market, that is either through primary market or secondary market. Moving ahead to the research methodology, the data is collected primarily and secondarily both. Primary data has been collected through a survey, that is through a questionnaire, which was being forwarded to the various age groups of investors. Interviews were also taken of few of them, and also observations in an office where there were sub brokers. Secondary data was collected from journals, articles, books, and websites, and through research papers. Sampling of for this paper was taken of 200 respondents through in Mumbai suburban region. The method used for sampling was stratified sampling method, which is a part of probability sampling. In samples were selected of the investors which are from various age groups and genders. These are the hypothesis set on based on the objectives of the study. Moving ahead to the importance of the study, that is significance, that the investment opportunities available for selection, that we studied that what are the various opportunities available for selection if they want to go for investment. The researchers also studied the perception that what are the factors which influence by selecting the investment, and uh, focus on mutual fund investment or and equity shares were there, because right now if we see the graph, even if we see the reports, the mutual fund investment and equity share investment is increasing like anything. Next, moving on to the data analysis and key observations, uh, there were certain important questions which were being asked. The first was purpose of investment, as to what is the purpose of their investment. The very first purpose was savings. That is the majority of them, out of 280 persons selected, that they want to save. That's the reason they are investing. Second factor which was important was tax benefit. Some of the investors, that is 64 investors out of 200, told that they are investing because of tax benefit, or they want to invest because of they get tax benefit. And the last was wealth maximization. Next, the investment options preferred, which investment they wanted to do, either in equity, either in mutual fund, or either in both. So yeah, as you can see on the pie chart, that 90 people out of 200, that is 45% of the respondents, selected mutual fund for their investment. 42 people, that is 21% of the respondents, selected for both, that is equity and mutual fund both. And 68 people, that is 34% of the respondents, selected for equity. Next is mutual fund preferred, as to what are the, I mean, what are the types of mutual fund that do prefer that, for which reason they prefer the mutual fund. First was income, where 78 people responded that they are selecting mutual fund scheme for income scheme, that they want to select the fund which gives them continuous income. 86 people selected that they want to select a fund which gives them growth, and 36 people were selecting the fund which give them balanced return as well as growth. Next, moving ahead to what are the factors which influence the investment. Liquidity, uh, 68 68 people told that liquidity is the thing which uh, affect them while selecting any kind of mutual fund or any kind of investment. 86 people, that is majority of people, selected return on investment, that this is the factor which influence while they are opting for any investment. And last, 46 people out of 200 uh, were thinking of risk, that this is the factor that would matter them while investing. Next, mode of trading in equity. We asked them questions regarding equity. Then 175 people selected that they want to trade online as it is easier for them, and 25 people selected offline mode. Next, we wanted to know that where are the what are the sources where the investments are what are the sources where the savings are converted into investment. So 59 people opted for banking funds, 43 people opted for gold and silver, 55 people opted for shares and debentures, and majority of them, that is 65 people, opted for mutual funds. Next, moving ahead to the hypothesis testing. This was the first hypothesis which was based on the first objective. Over here, as you can see on the pie chart on the left side, one-time investment is preferred less as compared to SIP. SIP is the most preferred investment. So over here, our null hypothesis has been proved wrong. That and our null alternative hypothesis has been selected, that investors do not give equal preference to SIP and one-time investment. Next, moving ahead to the second hypothesis testing. Over here, we wanted to know that what is the preferred market for trading in equity, either primary or secondary. So as again clearly visible from the data collected, over here our null hypothesis has been proved to be right. That is, individual investors are independent of type of market, that is primary and secondary, in case of investment in equity shares, as majority of them selected secondary market. That is, they want to invest more, either they want to invest intraday or interday rather than waiting for any IPOs. Next, moving ahead to the last hypothesis, which has been tested through a chi-square test, where the p-value was less than 0.05. The hypothesis, here we wanted to study that there is a correlation between gender and investment avenues such as equity and mutual fund. But over here also null hypothesis got rejected and alternative hypothesis got approved, that there is no correlation among genders and investment while choosing investment avenue like equity and mutual fund. Next, moving ahead to the finding and recommendations of the study. Mutual funds are most favored investment options in Mumbai. That's in Mumbai suburban region where the study was conducted. SIPs are preferred by mutual fund investors more as compared to one-time investment. As compared to the age group, youngsters, that is young investors, are willing to take more and high risk as compared to the other age groups. And the last, that investors seek higher returns, and liquidity is an important factor for them, as they whenever they want the money they can get it back. Next, moving ahead to the conclusion of the study. Shares, mutual fund, and other investment tools are very much popular among all the investors. Preferred time span of investment by investors is determined by the investor needs, as they, if they do not want immediate liquidity, then they will invest in a fund which will give them more growth. Okay, and if and vice versa. Next, investing in stock market is risky. Yeah, this is again for those who do not have that fundamental and technical knowledge of the shares, they should opt for mutual funds, is what the study concluded about. And organizations, all the organizations, those who are helping people to invest in this kind of funds, they should educate investors to reduce risk. So thank you. So before thanking you, this are references which we have taken for the data which we have taken from. And thank you so much once again on behalf of authors and co-authors. I, Saurabh Panchamia, thank you for your time, and thank you so much.
A study of gateway to online money laundering in India through online games and social media. The paper is written and presented by the three authors. About the author. Author 1, Ayush Brijesh. He is first year student of academic year 2022-23 in Department of Accountancy and Finance at Thakur College of Science and Commerce. Author 2, Dr. Nishikant Jha. Nishikant Jha sir, who is the Vice Principal of Commerce Department at Thakur College of Science and Commerce, and he is also the Coordinator of Department of Accountancy and Finance at Thakur College of Science and Commerce. Last, Author 3, Ashutosh Brijesh. He is a tutor at Queen Business School in Ireland and pursuing Masters in Finance at University of Dublin. A study of gateway to online money laundering in India through online games and social media. Money laundering is an illegal process of hiding the origin of money obtained illegally by passing it through complex sequences and various steps to launder the money and making it looks like clean source from black funds. Money laundering is a global challenge, and as you know, with the continuous rise of technology, criminals have found a new way to launder money by not just the physical way to launder money but laundering through online games and social media. As you know, the video game industry is booming and it's turning into multi-billion-dollar industry nowadays. Instead of just buying and playing the games, criminals use this to launder them money, and in India this is a very much growing concern for the government and for the citizens, that the increase of money laundering through social media and online game is very much rising. Next, review of literature. A study by Zhang et al. In 2020 found that the virtual currencies, which means the gaming currencies purchased through real money in online game, could be used to launder money. A study identified that the gaming virtual asset and currencies can be used to hide the illegal fund and convert them into legitimate source. Also in 2020, a study by Jain and Singh also found that the regulators like ED in India were insufficient to detect and prevent online money laundering. Another in 2017 by Yu and Chen explored the use of social media to launder money by tracing the transactions. Next, research and methodology. This study aimed to investigate the phenomenon of online money laundering through gateway of online games and social media platform in India. This research uses a theoretical perspective informed by the criminology and the regulatory framework. This research will use mixed method approach combining both qualitative and quantitative data. Qualitative data will be collected through the interviews with law enforcement official, the industry expert, and the people who have been targeted through this crime, and the quantitative data will be collected through the online Google Form survey of online gamers and social media users in India. A online Google Form survey was conducted and 139 people answered it. People below 28% people were above the age of 21 and 65% people were of age 18 to 81 and remaining 7% were below 17. The question were, have you ever purchased the virtual currency in online game? 45% have answered yes and 55% haven't purchased the online virtual currency. Have they made any peer-to-peer money transaction through social media platform? 52% have not made any peer-to-peer money transaction through social media and 48% had made. The next slide is also data analysis. First, have you ever been approached by someone to online to help them to transfer money through online games and social media? 48% people have answered it no, and the remaining 20% are they help to the friends, 20% to the parents, and remaining 12% to the relatives. Last, are you aware about the risk of money laundering through online games and social media? 40% people are not aware about the risk they can face through online money laundering in India through online games and social media. Next slide suggestion. With the help of this research study, we wanted to create awareness and education. There is a need to increase awareness and education among the youth people about the risks and consequences they can face while engaging in the online transaction and involving in the money laundering process. This could involve developing educational material for school, colleges, and online gaming community to raise awareness about the issue of money laundering. Also, to strengthen legal regulatory framework, the finding of the study may reveal the gap in the current legal and the regulatory framework that is difficult to detect and prevent online money laundering. Therefore, there is a need to strengthen the legal regulatory framework, including through the development of new law and regulation. Also, to enhance technological capabilities, the study may highlight the need to enhance technological capabilities of law enforcement agencies to detect and prevent money laundering, including through the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence technology. And last, to create international cooperation. As money laundering often involves cross-border flow of funds, there is need to increase the international cooperation between the law enforcement agencies and regulatory bodies to address the issues. Following are the references that has been studied for this research of a gateway to online money laundering through in India through online games and social media. First, Aurora A and N Gupta in 2019, Biswas Chaudhary and Chaudhary S in 2020, Government of India PMLA Act 2002 in 2019, Interpol 2020, Reserve Bank of India 2021 Master Direction, Singh J in 2020 Emerging Trends in Money Laundering, Suri N and Agrawal N in 2018 E-Gambling in India, UNO Drugs and Crime 2010, and last World Bank 2019 Compact Money Laundering and the Financing Terrorism. These were the studies that has been studied very deeply for our research study. Lastly, I'd like to thank everyone for letting us present this paper and providing us this platform. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all the participants present today in this event. I, Assistant Professor Ms. Sharmeen Ismail Sheikh from Government of Ismail Yusuf College of Arts, Science and Commerce. Along with me, the co-author, Assistant Professor Namira Momin. We are very thankful for getting the opportunity to present our paper on this special event. I would like to thank my seniors and subordinates for their support. The topic of my research paper is Online Shopping Experience, a study on perception of working women in Mumbai city. In my first slide, here is my introduction of my topic. As we all know that women are fond of shopping from attire to accessories and cosmetics and so on. But with the changing time, as more women are not only taking care of household but also they are dedicated towards professional work life. They hardly find time to step out from house towards market. So online shopping are gaining importance. Nowadays, as internet is widely accessible to all individuals, people find it convenient to shop online because it saves time as people are not required to step out, and also they get wide range of products available at reasonable price. According to the survey of Google study, it is anticipated to drive 25% of the total organized retail sales in India by 2020 and to reach $60 billion in gross merchandising value. Global online sales are expected to increase by 56% and exceed $8 trillion in 2026. With less involvement of middlemen, it is cost effective for wholesaler and retailer to sell products online as it reduces cost and their sales increases. As products are available at very low cost on online platform, people tends to buy online rather than shopping from market. People buy over internet due to the benefits like EMI options, discounts, seasonal sales, etc. Research methodology. The primary data was collected to identify the perception of working women in Mumbai city towards online shopping experience. The objectives of study is to analyze the online buying pattern of women in India, to understand major factors influencing online shopping, to provide recommendation to online retailers based on consumer opinion. And the limitations of my research are sample size is limited to 25 people only, which cannot show the perception of whole country. Universe of study is limited to Mumbai suburban region only, and responses of people may not be 100% accurate. Here is the data which I have analyzed and interpreted from the first graph. The response that we receive, it seems that most of the people purchase online nowadays. Next, majority of the people says that they mostly purchase online and very few people do not purchase online. In the next slide, 83.3% people say that they search online and buy online. And the second graph shows that people go for online shopping because of price flexibility. And to conclude the observation and suggestions of my study, I can sum up that e-commerce have gained a widespread effect on the economy. With the advancement of new technology comes better way of doing things. Online shopping are easy and beneficial to all if we protect ourselves from unethical practices. Promotion of your product brand through online platform are effective and informative. These are the links from which we have referred. Thank you all who are present today in this conference for your kind attention and cooperation.
A very good afternoon to one and all. Myself, Sonali Ramesh Modi, am here to present my topic for international conference which is going to be held on 25th Feb at Smile Yusuf College. I am very glad that I got the opportunity to present my topic in front of delegate authorities. I will make sure via this presentation I'll try my best and to make you all happy. Now, I'll start with my introduction. I had done Bachelor in Financial Market from SK Sumaya College of Arts, Science and Commerce. Apart from that, done my Masters in Commerce and Economics from IDIL, Mumbai University. I had completed my B.Ed in Commerce Economics from KJ Sumaya Comprehensive College of Education, Training and Research Center. Currently, I am teaching at Leelavati Lalji Dayal College of Commerce at junior college level and degree college level. I cleared my PET in management, business policy and administration as well as business management to pursue my PhD. Apart from that, at my college, the junior college level, and managed many cultural events at the junior college level. I am having more than 7 years of teaching experience in different areas and different subjects. My topic, a study on work-life balance among teachers of unaided junior college with reference to western region of Mumbai. So basically here first we will talk about what is work-life balance. So work-life balance is nothing more than it's a balance between professional life and personal life. Professional life at their workplace, personal life at their home environment. So it means, how much priority we are giving to the professional life and the personal life. In this research, I'm going to talk about all the factors, all the criteria, all the situation related to the education sectors in that the teachers are working and their growth are hampering. So I feel that there should be a balance between their working life and their personal life. Two factors that is affects them, the work life factors and the personal factors. Work life factors, like they are not getting the satisfaction after completing all the tasks. There is no growth opportunity to make their career planning or to make their growth for the higher level. They are not getting the peaceful and safe working environments at their workplace, especially the women. They are being harassed by their colleagues. Then their ability to commit at workplace is also hampered a lot. Now the personal factors are the mental peace, their confidence, and how much the employee can put 100% after the satisfaction. So all the factors are the main reason which affects the employee ability to work on time at the organizational level. So it becomes very, very important to bring the equilibrium between their personal life as well as the professional life. This review of literature, which is mentioned by Goyal K. Agarwal in 2015, after reading his paper, I found that working and life balance policies are very important part from the organizational level. If they are maintaining the work-life balance policies for their employees, then it's gonna help them to improve productivity of the employee at their workplace. It helps to reduce them absenteeism and develop the discipline among the organizational staff. It helps them to services. If they are working on the flexible working hours, then in that field they can provide or they can improve their health of the employees, as well as it satisfies and motivates the workforce. The second review of literature, which is written by Holy S. and Monin, A 2012, the title of the paper was Impact of Working Hours on Work-Life Balance. After reading his research paper, I found that there needs to be or there should be proper working life balance policies, because it overall brings the productivity, it overall prosper, or it brings the happiness, peaceful environment among the organizational staff. The third review of literature, which is done by Kumar Swami M. Ashwini in 2015, the title of the paper was Challenges in Work Life Balance of Married Working Women. After reading her paper, I found that especially the married women who are working whether in the education sector or at the organizational sector, they are facing many hurdles, they are facing many obstacles, because they are not getting any kind of support from their colleagues as well as from their family. So they are they are stuck between professional and the personal life. So if the educational sector are working in this field to maintain the different kinds of policies, or if they are going to provide the different kinds of the motivational or influencing speech, or if they are going to work on different kinds of the policies, then in somehow they are helping the women, in somehow they are helping the employees who are working at the educational sector at the different levels. Sample size for this research was 24 respondents. The area of the study was western region of Mumbai junior colleges. Technique I had used was non-probability technique. Data collection method was primary source of data and secondary source of data. Primary data was the teacher itself, and the secondary data I had referred the different kinds of the questionnaire, the survey, case study, and internet. The importance and significance of this research paper: there are very dimensions of the work life balance practices. If the organization, if the institutional sectors are coming up with these practices, then it helps them to bring the productivity. This research helps the policymakers to decide on different kinds of work life balance policies at their own personal levels. This research will give the researcher in-depth knowledge about how to bring, or how to work under work-life balance practices. The aim or my objective is to conduct this research, is to identify, is to know work-life balance of unaided junior college teachers. This I found that I asked the respondent, are they aware about different kinds of the work-life balance policies? So few were aware and few were not aware. I asked the respondent what makes them happy at the workplace. So they had come up with different kinds of the factors. Few agreed were flexible working hours, few said job sharing, few said paid holidays. Here I asked what are the factors which affects your career growth. So I found the mix up, the technological advancement, no support from their peers, or the negative attitudes of the family members. Here I asked the employees, I asked the teachers, the respondent who were, are they happy or unhappy? So majority were happy at the workplace, and the rest of them are not happy at their workplace. The suggestion which I want to give to the teachers, when they are at workplace, they needs to focus related to the work things only. But when they are at their home, when they are with their families, when they are in the family events, they should not worried about their professional life. If they are the professional at work, if they are at professional environment, they needs to concern about the professional thing. If they are at their family with their family staff, then they need to concern of the family thing. They should not mix the both thing, personal and the professional life. The suggestion to the institution should come up different kinds of the salary structure, different kinds of the policies which helps the employees to bring more productivity. Suggestion to the state government should come up. They should intervene in educational sector, the unaided departments, where they should govern. They can make the rules, they can make the decisions to protect the unaided teachers. For reference, I had referred many textbook, many websites, many research methodology books, so I had mentioned here. Thank you so much.
Hello jury members, my name is Srishti Mishra and I am research scholar at Dr. K.N. Modi University, Rajasthan. I am currently working as a faculty member in Srimati K.J. Mittal College. My topic is Impact of Stress on Work-Life Balance of Women in Service Sector. Let us begin by understanding the concept of stress and work-life balance. Stress is our body's response to any action or situation or a consequence which requires attention. Stress is generally considered as a negative phenomena, which is not true always. Stress can be positive too. For example, parental stress to the students during the exam. It helps students to concentrate better and results into improved or better marks. On the other hand, work-life balance means when an individual balances out its personal need and professional needs. It is the state of equilibrium. It helps an individual to have a systematic and stratified way of living life without compromising on career or personal life. Review of literature. This research is conducted by going through various research papers and journals. Few of them have been summarized below. The core of all the researchers were women can lead to better work-life balance when they receive support from their family members, society and organization. For example, young children need to be made understand that the consequences of harassing someone by not defining gender duties at home and everybody doing the domestic chores all together, by supporting the women's in the organization by having flexible working hours, providing training to the women's, especially young mothers, to cope up with stress, having better pay, better compensation, equal opportunities of growth for everyone. Framing policies such that which are in favor of women's work life. The main purpose behind conducting this research was to understand the level of stress among working women in the service sector and what are the stressors causing stress to them. To study the role of women in service sector and why there has been increase in the number of women working out. To analyze the support received by women in the organization and in the family. The method used to collect the data was primary data collection and secondary data collection. Structured questionnaire was sent to the women from the working industry, service industry, and data analysis is done with the help of 5-point Likert scale. The research tool used was online questionnaire. Importance and significance of the research. As we all know that stress affects the productivity of individual. Therefore, it is important to deal with it timely and tactfully. Women's being overburdened with responsibilities at home and at organization, are undergoing tremendous stress. No longer they are only the pillar of social structure, but also they are foundation of growing economy, as they are contributing in the growth of economy by working in different sectors. Their role in the families and at workplace have been changed. From decision takers, they have become decision makers by holding key managerial positions at the workplaces. Increased in the working opportunity has increased their career demands, increased responsibilities, and which means more time and dedication towards a professional life, which causes stress. Never ending expectations of the society from a woman to play different roles, not only at home but also at the workplace, has caused them great stress. Rise of women in service sector, or why there has been substantial increase in the number of women in the service sector. The number of educated women in our country has been increased. High standard of living and high cost of living are another important factor for women to come out and work. Also, no longer women want to be dependent financially on their parents or on their spouses. Societal acceptance, the way society respects working women today, helps them to come out and work further. Government has taken various initiatives to support working women by promoting policies like fair wages and compensation, flexible working hours, maternity leave, and so on. Family and work related stressors for women in service sector. In Indian society, women are given responsibility of taking care of the entire family's health, their food, their housework, which is causing them great stress. The responsibility of taking care of the old and sick parents and young children falls on the shoulder of the women, because of which they cannot give extra time to their work. Big families and unsupportive spouses. Today, the scenario is changing. The men are coming out and helping women in their domestic work, but to what extent it is yet not clear. Workplace stressors include job insecurity, as women are under constant stress, they might lose their job at any point of time. Long working hours. Now, women in the service sector have long working hours, as the clients do not have any specific time. For example, any consultancy business firm where women are working or serving, the client may approach them on Sunday as he himself is working somewhere else. Therefore, women in the service sector have to work on Sundays also, causing stress. Workplace harassment, overburdening responsibilities, working after working hours are the other causes of stress. Let us summarize the data analysis. The total number of respondents were 50 and all of them were female. Majority of the respondents were working in the education industry and the least number of respondents were from the healthcare sector. All the respondents generally accepted that they have faced stress at some or the other point in their working hours. Generally, women have to work after their working hours, which is also again a major stressor. The family related stressors included lack of support from the family, young children, old and sick parents, but the major stressor was never ending expectation from the women. The major work related stressors included overburdening responsibility. As the positions have improvised, new opportunities are given, there's also increase in the responsibility, which is a great cause of stress. Women have agreed to that. They do not face, majority of respondents agreed that they do not face any kind of workplace harassment, which shows that the organizations are having better policies to deal with workplace harassment. Essential steps have been taken. We received mixed response that some of the women were able to spend time with their families after their working hours, as they were from the education industry and the working hours are limited to certain period, but some of them do not agree with it. So it requires training and different programs to help women to deal with the stress. Discussions and suggestion. Now it is the role of government to frame strict rules and regulation against workplace harassment, educating the youth against the consequences of harassment, protecting the various rights of women like proper pay, equal opportunities, flexible working hours. The family needs to be supportive, no having gender duties, responsibilities to be handled by both, and not burdening the women with their unnecessary expectations. I would like to conclude now. Women can have a stable work life balance if they are having flexible working hours, job security, training how to cope up with stress, and most importantly, women are treated as women and not superficial beings to do all the responsibilities at a time. Below is the list of references which I have used while making this project. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening me. Once again, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Our topic is how the banking system has changed over the years in India. I am Tayyaba Jindran, and these are my group mate names Junaid Khan, Sania Mullah. So I start with introduction. A banking system is a collection of institutions that provides us with financial services. The banking script in India is the post-liberalization and deregulation the train has witnesses broad changes. For the banks, technology has surfaced as a strategic resource for achieving advanced effectiveness, control of operations, productivity, and profitability. For guests, it's the communication of that anywhere, anytime, anyway banking dream. This has urged the banks to immerse technology to meet the adding client anticipation. A banking system also pertains to a system handled by the bank which offers cash operation services for Indian banking system guests, reporting the deals of their accounts and portfolios throughout the day. The banks safeguards the plutocraft and valuables and provide loans, credit, and payment services similar to checking accounts, plutocrafts, orders, and cashier's checks. The banks also offer investment and insurance products. The next is review of literature. A few studies were made which were indirectly helpful to this investigation. Reviews of such studies are presented below. Metro et al. 2000 found that customers perceive the quality of services of internet banking based on the performances of online delivery systems, not on the processes in which the delivered services developed and produced. Sunil Kumar 2015 has done a study on consumer awareness and usage of e-banking services. The result of this research was found to be that the consumers are not frequently using these services, but they have a strong desire to use these services in the future. The next is research methodology. So our reference period for the survey was 3 days and we got 173 responses. So the first question we asked that how frequently do you visit a bank? 34.1% response visited once in 3 months. 6.9% visited once a week. 28.3% of respondents visited once a month. The next question we ask, because of online mode, do you feel your banking work becomes easy? So here 89% people said yes and 1.2% said no and 9.8% said maybe. The next question we ask, which transaction is easy for you? 87.3% of respondents feel online transactions were easy, and 12.7% of respondents feel cash transactions were easy. The next question we ask, to raise a request or report a problem, which mode do you prefer? 63% of respondents feel like visiting the bank personally, and 37% go via mail slash on call. The next we talk about importance. Banking is an integral part of the whole fiscal sector. It affects the country's fragility by furnishing investment, credit, and structure. The banking sector plays a significant role in the profitable growth and development of any country. It includes trade, finance, insurance, and investment, conditioning of banks, automated banks. With the arrival of computers and microprocessing machines, now most banks have been automated. Fiscal deals have been made lightly and hastily. The banking sector has also helped poor growers in developing countries by furnishing them with credit installations. The banking sector has also been plumbed for not furnishing people with sufficient access to finance, a lack of transparency being too big of a size, and its part in the global fragility. So the next is significant. Banks also play a central role in the transmission of financial policy, one of the government's most important tools for achieving profitable growth without affectation. At the public position, central banks can shrink or expand the plutocrat force by raising or lowering banks' reserve conditions and by buying and dealing securities on the open request with banks as crucial counterparties in the deal. Data analysis. We analyze that many people are using online banking but they have not visited the bank in a month, and people still fear online fraud and many more we observe in the primary data. So our suggestions is, this study found that customers should be mentally prepared to adopt a banking system based on banking practices. This is a systematic orientation and customer education, and banking should be introduced with proper safety and security measures by the bankers. This study concluded that the government took the incentives programs for customers regarding the safe banking system, and customers should be encouraged to avail of banking services by providing necessary technical and information support. This study established that the banks can maintain adequate numbers of customer support officers. Information and support should be extended to the customers in the local language. These are the references. These are the references. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. First of all, let me thank you all for being a part of this conference today. It's an honor to have the opportunity to address such a distinguished audience. Let me start by saying just a few words about my own background. I am Professor Lydia Kalgutkar, the author of this research paper. Professor Pratiksha Gurrav is the co-author. We are currently associated as assistant professors with Ismail Yusuf College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Mumbai. Being able to bring a holistic development in our students is what we as a team focus on. Both of us have made a substantial, direct, and intellectual contribution to the research work. I would like to give you an overview of our research paper titled An Adoption of Mobile Banking, an Analysis of Customers' Behavior
with reference to Mumbai city. And we will be taking a look at the recent developments in banking sector with the perspective of mobile banking. The banking sector plays a very crucial role in our economy. It is one of the most important financial pillars of the finance sector. The banking system reflects the economic health of a country. Banking also refers to a financial activity to manage and safeguard your hard earned money. In India, we have more than 900 million mobile users, but still, mobile banking is used by only 40 million customers approximately. The banking industry has transformed from the traditional model to a modern technology based way of transactions. Banks cater to all sorts of individual, small businesses, and large corporations. Banks offer financial management products, including various types of accounts and loans. They also provide easy access to funds via facilities like ATMs, debit cards, credit cards, etc. The banking sector has been upgrading their services with the use of technology from time to time, like introducing the ATM machine, which took more than a decade to get popular, and the phone and net banking took half the time of ATM. But the mobile banking technology, which is the third era of technology of the banking sector after phone and net banking, and comparatively, its growth is phenomenal when compared to the first two eras. Today's topic is of particular interest to those of you who use mobile banking services. Banks have to work on creating mobile banking awareness among the customers. They need to promote the benefits of mobile banking and its effectiveness. In this paper, we aim to determine customer perception about mobile banking services of the banks. Customers have different views on mobile banking services provided by their service providers. So, what exactly is mobile banking? Mobile banking is a term used for performing mobile banking transactions like balance inquiry, money transfer, investment, paying utility bills, etc., using cell phone devices. Let me tell you all. Mobile banking is classified into three types: app based banking, SMS banking, and USSD banking, where mobile banking applications encompass the broadest range of banking services. You can transfer funds, make investments, and book FDs through app based banking. On the other hand, SMS banking enables you to get SMS alerts about account balances, mini statements, etc. USSD services assist with fund transfers without internet enabled smartphones. The mobile banking facility allows you to manage almost all banking transactions via mobile devices. So, do you want to know your account balance? Do you wish to transfer funds to your loved ones or check your latest transactions? You can access all of this information by logging into your mobile banking account. Let us assess the different types of mobile banking services available in India. In many countries, mobile banking has risen as a well-known method of banking. Increase in number of smartphone users and internet subscribers, mobile banking is the fastest adopted technology in the world. This talk is designed to act as a springboard for discussions. The objectives of our paper includes to study the customer awareness for mobile banking services, to study the most influential factor of mobile banking for customer satisfaction. Also, the objective includes to study the barriers for adopting mobile banking services and to suggest ways to improve the usage of mobile banking. Customer satisfaction is a major aspect as to how the services provided by the organizations should meet the expectations as well as should also exceed the expectations of the customers. If the customer expectations of safety, reliability, security, and trust is met by the services, then we will say that more customers will connect with into mobile banking. And if the expectations will not meet, then we will say that customer satisfaction is low. The various statistical tools used was done through a standardized questionnaire format, and the data was gathered for the research purpose. The study design of a research paper is descriptive in nature. 51 respondents from various demographic variables in Mumbai between the age of 15 to 60 years were selected for the research sample to answer the questions regarding their knowledge about mobile banking products, its services, and the common problems faced in this sector. Survey method was applied along with primary and secondary data to complete the research. The first pie chart points out that 37.3% people visit banks once a year or less for even their banking business, whereas it shows 21.6% of the respondents visit the bank a few times a week. The second pie chart displays 35.3% of the respondents strongly agree that mobile banking is cost effective as compared to the personally visiting the banks. 43.1% of the respondents trust the network connectivity while transacting using mobile banking. 92% of the respondents agree that mobile banking is truly time saving. My first point concerns mobile banking is a mutually beneficial one for both the banks and the customer. In this mode of operations, the banks do not require huge investment nor have to alter the existing infrastructure to send the messages to huge number of people in less efforts, but also helps to form good quarterly relations with customers. Banks get the most valuable data regarding the requirements of the customers. Coming to the advantages of the customers is that they can operate anywhere and anytime and avail the services of banking provided by the banks with the help of mobile phones. Now, there is no need for standing in long queues or talk to the employees for getting the services. Hence, mobile banking is truly cost effective for both the banks as well as its customers. Some of the positive impact of mobile banking can be inferred as follows. Mobile banking offers quick and instant banking services, eliminating all your dependency on banks for basic infrastructures. Do you want to check the account balance or the details of your recent transactions or simply transfer funds in a jiffy? Just load your bank's mobile banking app on your phone and you're good to go. Are you traveling to a different city or perhaps going abroad? No matter where you are, all you need is a stable internet connection and a robust mobile and a good internet network. You can conduct various kinds of transactions from anywhere across the globe thanks to mobile banking. Another positive impact of mobile banking are their services, which includes checking the status of credit or debit cards, checking ATM and branch locations, ordering checkbooks, grievance redressal, etc. Oh, we cannot forget the transfer fund options provided to us. You can transfer funds to accounts in the same bank or different banks via NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, or even UPI. You can also use mobile banking to pay your utility bills, shop online, recharge your mobile and DTH devices, etc. However, mobile banking suffers from few drawbacks, such as there may be technical issues that may cause error in payment or the delay in payment. Customers may face some risk of security while using mobile banking. There are also possibilities of hacking and virus attacks. For example, a new mobile banking Trojan virus, SOVA, which can steadily encrypt any Android phone for ransom and is hard to uninstall, is targeting the Indian customers. Besides, mobile banking functions only if you have an internet enabled smartphone. You can also enjoy the services on regular mobile phones, but they are not as extensive as those you can get through mobile apps. One of the major findings of our research was the hurdles faced by customers while using mobile banking services is its financial system security. It is understood from the research that customers must be made aware of the potential mobile banking systems along with its pros and cons. So, what conclusions can we draw from this? As per the study, it can be concluded in a nutshell that mobile services is transforming the banking industry by providing convenience to their customers in the emerging market of India. It is observed that smartphones have very huge potential of conducting many transactions with lots of convenience and at a reduced cost. It is also seen that the most influential factors of mobile banking are trust and security, convenience and transaction speed with respect to customer satisfaction. Therefore, the study infers with an analysis and suggestion on various factors affecting mobile banking, namely, giving importance and taking immediate measures on security issues so that the customer shall not face the factors such as incomplete transaction and problem of network. Awareness and training to customers regarding the technical aspects and making them feel confident in adopting the mobile banking in their daily life. We have referred to several journals and research works of different research scholars for a research purpose. And on that note, I conclude my presentation and I sincerely appreciate your attention this noon. Thank you all.